Beverly Hills Cop for the PlayStation 2 is a bigger disappointment than Eddie Murphy's career. Most of you probably didn't know that this game even existed because it was never released outside of Europe. But you're probably wondering, how could a Beverly Hills Cop game be so bad? I mean, it already has everything it needs to be a good game. It has a wisecracking Axel Foley as its hero, a famous theme song that even the crazy Cunting Frog made a version of, a fun storyline, lots of colourful locations, and lots of action. It should have everything a game needs to be fun. So how could they fuck it up? Well, it's a long story, so let's just start off with the game's cover. Oh, where's Axel? Do I play as the car? Nope, you will be relieved to hear that you do in fact play as Axel Foley, and so without further ado, here he is! Oh, what, you don't recognise him? Yeah, you can probably figure out now why they didn't put him on the cover. It wasn't just laziness, it's also the fact that he looks like the bastard child of Homer Simpson and a car accident. And if you think that that's all they butchered, then just listen to that classic Beverly Hills Cop theme song. They couldn't even get the rights to the song, and instead of just making a different song entirely, they just tried to mimic how it sounds. Why? All anybody is going to think upon hearing this is that it's just a cheap rip-off of the original. Who made this game? Zynga? So the game starts us off by throwing us into a mission where we must put away a ring of car thieves. No intro movie, nothing. It was only later on I found out that the actual intro was in the game's instruction manual.
Axel Foley stood at the rain-spattered window of his office, staring out at Detroit's grey skyline. He sipped slowly from a polyethylene cup of coffee in his hand, grimacing after every bitter gulp.
Oh, fuck off. Already, this is the laziest game I've ever played. It's not as if they didn't have room for an intro movie. Like, I mean, the box says there's only 6 missions in the game, and I certainly doubt they were crippled for space. Honestly though, I'd complain more, but I've actually already seen all the cutscenes that are in the game. Let's take a look at one now, shall we? Where do I start? Aside from the graphics, there's no voice acting. In fact, there's not even any sound at all. The cutscenes in The Sniper 2 look bloody better than in this game. And I have to stress, this game is on the PlayStation 2 and was released 2 years after Metal Gear Solid 3. Just think about that. And what the hell is up with Axel's computer screen? It looks like it's just covered in semen. Has Axel just been watching nothing but porn since the end of Beverly Hills Cop 3? Oh, and typo. God, I haven't even started on the gameplay yet. Jesus. So we start off in this alley, and upon venturing down we are immediately interrupted by a 30-second long cutscene showing us where we have to go. That's fine I suppose, it gives us a rough guide and how many guards we have to sneak by. So I'll sneak around this car over here and... What? Bullshit. There's nobody there who could possibly see me. Not even a minute in and I got a game over. So upon starting the level again, another problem arises. I can't skip it. I can't skip this cutscene. It's like the game was just trying to prolong the inevitable of having to actually play it. It's teasing me. I'm just waiting in limbo to be able to play this fucking mess of a game. So finally, I'm back in control. This time I'll just go a different way and make sure I can see where the gangster is so he definitely won't see me. Oh, fuck you, I already just wanted to turn off the console. I haven't been playing this game 5 minutes and it's already stressing me out. Restart, watch the loading screen, go to the alley, watch the long cutscene, and finally I'm back again. This time I'm sneaking around the place like I'm fucking invisible. I get seen practically 3 times, but the guards just continue on, but don't worry, I won't complain about that. After arriving at her destination, Axel changes into a mechanic's costume that was just in the bin for some reason, and climbs up a ladder and into the building. So here I am disguised as a mechanic, and I'm walking around pointing my gun into people's faces, to which they just ignore. Stupid AI aside, if this is a sneaking mission, then why have him hold his gun at all? I can't use it for anything because when I get caught, it's game over. It's like the programmers just forgot to have him holster his gun during the sneaking section. Did they even play this game after they finished it? But yeah, it's not suspicious at all. Neither is the fact that I just climbed in through the fucking window, but that's the least of this game's concerns. So I make my way down to the factory floor and... Right. Jesus, it's just literally just one thing after another with this game, isn't it? It's like you think that this game can't surprise you anymore and then it just pulls something else out from under its sleeve. So after wandering around for a while, I go upstairs where I find a computer that Axel apparently wants to use. Why? Who knows. But wouldn't you know it, we need a password from one of those geeks. So we make our way back downstairs where we can see this guy through a door, but we can't get in because the door is locked. The key ends up being all the way back up the ladder from where we started on top of a drum. This game is taking the piss. It seems to just do anything to try and pad out the playtime. This isn't fun. Nobody in the history of anybody would ever find this fun. So we collect the key and finally get to talk to the geek who for some reason looks like a cop and is now called security. We are then introduced to how conversations work according to Beverly Hills Cop. The idea, as it turns out, is to select the green option in the chamber 3 times in a row to get the best result. This is undoubtedly the worst conversation system I've ever seen in any game ever. If you know a worse one, I'd love to hear it. I mean, the logic of it operates as if Axel is some sort of social lunatic and it's only by luck if he actually says something clever or not. So after passing the conversation system and getting the password, we head back up to the computer where we can finally access it. And look at that computer screen. Talk about graphics. What the fuck is that supposed to be? Apparently, however, it's all Axel needed to see, so now we're supposed to leave. By all means, don't tell the player what information Axel just found in the computer, just ignore all the details and carry on. As we leave the room, however, Axel is cornered by a group of guards who now grow suspicious of him. Why now? Is it because it suits the story maybe? Or because he's not pointing his gun into people's faces? So we now partake in another incredible conversation. Again, it's just blind luck as to what colour it lands on, but if that's not frustrating enough, the eventuality of it all is that the colours that come out don't even make a blind fucking difference as to what happens. Here, I get 3 greens in a row. The result of that perfect scenario? They start shooting you. So how exactly is that a successful conversation? Surely they should start shooting you if you get 3 reds, not greens. But do you want to know what happens if you get 3 reds? This. Why? What physically happens to Axel if you get 3 reds? Does he just put his gun to his head and pulls the trigger? It makes no sense. Why have it in the game if the best possible result you can get is the worst possible scenario? The back of the game case says use your wits to wisecrack your way out of tight spots, just like Axel. So not only are the developers lazy, but they're also liars. And if you thought the sneaking system was bad, just wait until you see the gunplay. I can barely fucking hit anybody. The aiming reticule just jumps almost everywhere but the person who I want to hit. And you want to talk about glitchy gameplay? I shoot this guy with a shotgun and he doesn't react, this idiot just walks towards me as I shoot at him, and then when I do kill the guy in blue, he just pops back into life again. So I'm trying my best to survive this onslaught of bullshit, and all the time I'm still hearing all the sounds of the mechanics working on cars. So what, are they changing tyres in between trying to kill me? The gangsters close the garage door for some reason, to which Axel says the best way out of here is in style, and so wants to break out in the sports car. We were then shown where a gas can is, and where a petrol pump is. My question is, how is that possibly the best way out? Why not just hop the wall from where you came in? How do you know that the sports car even works? It's in a mechanics, so it could be broken. How does he know it has no gas? How does he know where the gas can and petrol pump is? And that the petrol pump even works? This game is fucking terrible! So I managed to somehow survive my way outside, where I grab the gas can and pass by a car that has its engine running and its lights on. So why can't I just use this to get away? It's perfect. But no. Logic, as it happens, isn't actually in this game, so like a rat in a maze you just have to do exactly as you're told. Anyway, I fill up the can at the pump and return to the car where Axel breaks out of the building and escapes. This is the end of just the first level and I already feel like I deserve a medal for getting so far. And believe me, it only gets worse from here.
I am bound for the promised land, I'm bound for the promised land, bound for the promised land.